What's up, everybody? I'm Ethan with Fight Me on This.
I'm Jill at CoachJill.April. Welcome back to the pod.
Shifting the Lens podcast. Um, we ended our shit last time. This is episode 3. Episode 2.
Episode 3.
Episode 2 ended on, on us kind of completing a little circle about talking about the people in our life, becoming Polly, and a couple of the people that are in our life. I remember talking a lot about Brian. But this time we're shifting a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to talk about us. Shocking. Probably every episode of this podcast.
Within reason.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about more so on the health and fitness side. What we do for work, how we got here.
Hey, it looks good in the camera.
How that logo got on that shirt.
Yeah, that. And yeah, what we do as trainers, as wellness professionals here, as individuals, and kind of as a team. But yeah, first we're doing hards and joys. My heart's still the Oilers shit. It keeps coming up, and I've shared about it now. I've talked to my therapist about it now, who's as equally as annoyed as I am. It's fucking dumb.
It is dumb.
Like, for those of you that don't know, the Oilers hired a guy named Stan Bowman, who was banned from the NHL because he aided and abetted a fucking pedophile who harmed not just one, like multiple youth in his care as a video goalie coach or some shit. Doesn't matter. He's a fucking piece of shit and should be dead. But Stan Bowman knowingly covered it up, made money covering it up, benefited from the direct harm, abuse, and like innocence theft of youth in his care, and then was banned from the NHL. And somehow the Oilers, in their infinite fucking wisdom, decided to hire him because he deserves a second chance. And like, this is the part of the podcast where like I should trigger warn you guys because I have a mouth and I'm fucking opinionated, as if you didn't know that from episodes 1 and 2. But like, anybody who thinks pedophiles and those that help them deserve second chances can start a shotgun. Aggressively. Both barrels, both triggers. Like, I hope that it claps back and the bounce is what gets you the second time.
There's just like so many things that you don't get second chances for.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? You sent your kids to do a sport and then someone in power took their innocence. And you motherfucking asshats, sports fans, game, entertainment seekers, think that they deserve a second chance. Y'all are fucked. And I'm not even the problem on this one. Y'all are fucked.
Yeah, I think
someone's gonna tune into this and be like, "What happened?" Like,
listen.
Fucking listen.
No,
this is a hill I'll die on. Fuck every last one of you.
I'm not stealing your heart, but I think a piece of that heart is sharing and talking about it and seeing people respond in agreement, but then being like, okay, so what now? Like, yeah, we all agree, not all of us, clearly. But like, the heart is always the then what?
Yeah, like I love hockey. I love the Oilers. Like, you guys don't get it. Like, the only happy memories I have from my childhood while I was being fucked by a parent was when I got to be with the only family member who was clueless about it all, my grandma, and she introduced me into sports. It's why I love football the way I do. And the Edmonton Elks, who were the Eskimos when she took me to the games, I went 10 years of my life without missing a home game. Even my abuser, the head of security at Northlands for 16 years, I was in the Oilers locker room. Like, the perk to my abuse was I got to meet the Oilers. How wild. Yay, what a privilege. Now, like, I don't even want to wear their colors. And the stats alone, we're already in it. I don't even give a shit. The stats alone mean in that locker room, there's 5. Like, on my post, if you saw it, I did the math for you guys since nobody else wants to do it. With the stats, we know 1 in 5 boys, which is wrong, is closer to 1 in 3. Just not that many men speak up because we aren't allowed to. That's a whole other episode and fucking problem. But the same problem that's keeping this dude sweeping shit under the rug and hiring fucking pedophile huggers is the same problem that I just talked about. But again, we can deal with that later. Literally 5 people in that locker room have been abused, and you just put somebody who wouldn't protect them in the same room. In the organization, 500 people, let's say, on the low side, just for the hockey team itself. 50 people are now unsafe because of a decision to give a motherfucker a second chance.
Yeah. And like the hard that goes with that is most likely nothing will happen. And I think that's one of the hardest parts whenever we talk about the hards in the world, the fucked up things that happen is like, yeah, we can talk about it and then nothing will happen.
Yeah, like it's why so many people that have stories don't make it. All right, like let's be real. This is a podcast to be real on. The level of times I've wanted to not be here because I realize the needle isn't moving because people are the problem is exhausting. Like it's stupid. This conversation is stupid. To even have the moral decision to hire somebody like that is fucked beyond all recognition. But like, if you're a human being and you're breathing, like you know somebody that's been abused. Half of the people listening to this have been abused or by somebody in power. Like I, you want second chance? You want that person around you, your kid? What the fuck, you guys? Like the heart just keeps getting doubled down on in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I'll watch hockey. I'll watch Vegas. A friend, client, I hope he gets to punch somebody in the face. Because I'll cheer. Shout out to Ben. I'll watch Vegas if I have to. Like, I'll just shift. I love the sport. But, like, what the fuck do you mean I don't get to cheer for my fucking home team because the brass, the head, the runners of the team are fucking clueless pieces of shit.
And that's also, like, everybody's story is the other side adjusts because nothing will happen on that end.
Yeah. There's so many people that can pick apart the story and relate to it, and still here we are arguing the fact that it's a fucking game and you guys are making a game of child abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my hard.
Yeah. I think it's a hard for a lot of people. And like I said, not stealing it, but it just brings up the heart of...
That was an instinct. My bad. Just brings up the heart of...
knowing nothing will get done. Like,
yeah, like the only reparation here is that he gets fucking fired and there's a public apology. And even that, you made the fucking choice. You knew the facts already.
And then you're like, oops, somebody caught us. We'll say sorry now.
Like, white people give me shits.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like the caucasity of this story is fucked. The cis white hetero maleness of this fucking story is beyond me. And the absolute fucking Christian garbage of second chances for all. Y'all can fucking miss me. Y'all hung a dude on a cross. I don't even want to hear second chance this, second chance that. Fucking miss me with it.
Yeah, it just brings up so much for a lot of people. Like, I remember, especially within sport, like in high school, remembering like the football team was untouchable. Didn't matter what they did, who they did it to, who knew. Nothing would happen. So as soon as this story came out, I was like, oh. Yeah, it doesn't change just because it's adults. I was lucky that my best friend was one of the cool football players, but like the stories I heard come out of that team that never had repercussions because they're on the football team is crazy to me. So it's always hard to hear stories like that for my own reasons, for many reasons, for watching it get swept away and covered up, and because they're athletes. Okay.
Yeah, like for any reason, I think. I think that like this can even be a topic on its own. We're gonna enter our show this way before we get to our joys. Like is there's so much suffering out there to meet people in. People can draw the tie to the suffering. When we talk about support, a lot of the times it's really uneven in lived experience, and supporting people. Finding the common denominator is the easiest way to navigate supporting them. Jill and I have very different stories, but she does have her own versions of suffering, her own versions of the suck that have taken her to very similar places that I have gone in my story. When we talk about supporting others and holding that space, It's understanding the suffering. It's not that you know what that experience is like. Nobody knows what I went through. But you can meet me in the suffering, understand what it did, and registered like in my system. That's a part of doing this with people. If I can give you like the first real gold nugget of knowledge that I have, it's that one. So there's a cool part about the hard, is that it does bring out the community if you let it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always a reminder you're not alone, even if it feels like it. Like, yeah, just sharing about it, DMs, comments. There's more people out there that think it's as fucked up as you do. I promise. I hope. Listen, if you don't watch this on YouTube, then
You're missing out.
sorry. Your joy.
That was one of them. My joy was I got to close out K-Days in kind of a fun way.
Oh yeah, that was
I
a
got
big
to.
day.
That was a big day. Yes, it was a big day. Yeah, I got to close out K-Days this year, walking into another. I walked twice in the Indigenous Fashion Show. As a model, I've been very blessed with opportunities to work with Indigenous designers. I've done a lot of mental health work and advocacy work and human rights work with Indigenous groups and Indigenous people across the city, the province, the country. And as I navigated my weight loss and the confidence building and the intimacy and everything else work, it was people offering me space to come and help them rep what they were doing. You know, I'm a very, for those that know me, I'm a very community driven person. I want to build a community. I want everybody to have their claim in this world. And so supporting someone that put together hours and hours of effort into a design was a great opportunity. A new terrifying thing to try for myself, which was walking the runway, being in front of those eyes that way and being like, not necessarily objectified, but looked at intentionally because of the way that it looked, representing clothing and designers and lots of passion. So I take great honor in getting to work with them, and I do a lot of work with the Indigenous community that way. So this was a lot of fun to, again, help run and support them in running the show. And then, yeah, walking the stage, impromptu getting to work with little models. I got to work with, I think she was 4. I got to walk out and be a warrior, a caretaker for her on the stage. It was just a very cool opportunity to share what I do with more people. And then closed out with Ludacris concert at the end of that, which was a fucking riot of it. I forgot I was a big Ludacris fan. And it helps that I remember music and movies very well.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't miss a song and I was having a time.
That was a time.
That was a good time. Yeah, so Sunday closing out K-Days was a solid day.
That was a solid day. I walked into you walking the stage with a child, and I said, "Don't do this to me. I may not want one, but like, gets me every time." A joy. Okay, this is gonna sound backwards because it wasn't really a joy in the moment, but then I left and I was like, "Hey, that was cool." I was supposed to go to an event with my family on Saturday night, Taste of Edmonton. And I got there and instantly was like, no, nope. It was too people-y. You know, when you're standing there and your brain like clocks how many people are around you and you're just like, gotta go. I was just doing the math. And usually I would like suck it up and be like, nope, I said I would do this thing. So now I have to do this thing. But I didn't. I was like, I'm leaving. Bye guys. See ya. And it's also me learning to like drive myself everywhere all the time so that I can have an out. So it wasn't that like fun in the moment.
What she's referring to are called boundaries, and we'd have to set them with everybody, including our families. So when this comes out and this subtext is happening, we're talking about boundaries. This is the win.
Yeah. But it was just a win of like me actually saying I was leaving. Like I looked at everyone, I was like, I'm out. And they were like, what if we do this? I was like, no, I'm out. And they were like, we'll go stand over here. I was like, no, I'm out. See ya.
Also, that shit isn't supportive. When someone says, I gotta go, they gotta go. The counter, we can go stand over there. Shut the fuck up. You go. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you halfway. You go stand the fuck over there. I'm going to do what I said and take care of myself.
Yeah, I think we talk about this all the time. People don't realize the severity in those moments, if that's the word I want to use. Like, no, me standing 3 feet from the 8 billion people actually won't help. And especially for someone like me, it's not that quick for me to flip my brain back. Like, I'm not going to go stand in a corner, take 3 breaths, and be like, okay, ready, let's go. Like, I'm leaving. I'm going home. I'm resetting my whole being. Bye. Um,
Um, so getting to see her proud of herself, but to get to be proud of her for standing up for herself. Like I in episode 1, I think she said like one of the things is, or was it last episode? One of the things that I get to do is to have her back, and I have it all the time.
mm-hmm.
I viscerally stand up, like
But like, I don't have my own back sometimes. So,
so when she does, like I love that, and I'm proud of her for being being her partner the way that I am and supporting her in it. It's those moments I get to live for. It's those moments of growth that just keep reminding me of why I love this woman the way I do.
thanks.
Got her.
Okay, now that we're 20 minutes in,
To no questions. That's why
let's
I love
jump
podcasts.
into the topic. Let's start simple. What got you into health and fitness?
Football, the first time, actually. Yeah, when I was, oh, fuck, math. 22. Ooh.
1 million years ago.
I don't want to hit you on camera.
Yeah, when you were 22.
The giggle that came out of you just now, like the people that know us, I was just like, here's the kink joke. 22. So, God, 12 years ago?
This is what I say.
So many years ago, more than a decade ago. I wanted to play football and I got on the Edmonton Stallions here in the AFL. I was fucking 272, yeah, close to 300 pounds. Jesus Christ. And wanted to play football. And then while I was training for football, I got the opportunity to coach football, and kids took to me like they always do. I love being the big brother because I'm a giant child. I'm also like a rude asshole, so like they clash sometimes, which is kind of fun. It's neat. It's a good time. But yeah, coaching was a lot of fun, and I loved it. And then kids wanted to train with me, and I just jumped into school. Elevated Learning Academy. Shout out to ELA. They gave me a great education. I will send everybody there. I think if you want to be a trainer, it's just the best way to go to school. Go about it. I'm biased. They have a weed program that's good too. That's probably why. But it was that I wanted to play football. I wanted to be better at it. I wanted to keep sharing the knowledge I have with kids. I was strong as it was because I was big, and yeah, so that's what got me into health and fitness, and it's evolved a bunch of times since then. But what about you, my love, Jill? What do I call you on the podcast? What do I call you in real
Whatever
life?
you want.
Okay.
Within reason.
Mm,
What got me into health and fitness? I played basketball a lot.
which is weird because you can't hit the garbage from 3 feet away right now.
I'm out of practice, okay? Yeah, played basketball a lot, and when that ended, the classic, I don't know if it's female thing or an everyone thing, when you go from playing high level sport and then you stop and then you gain like a lot of weight. I don't know if that's a unisex thing, but I feel like it happens to every competitive female. Yeah, it's also because I came out of basketball like over basketball. Like I literally was like, "Don't let me see a basketball. I'm done."
I felt like that was soccer for a very long time.
Yeah, so I came out of grade 12 being like, "Yeah, don't let me see a basketball. I'm good." And my best friend at the time, he was like, "We're going to the gym." He was like, "You're not doing nothing. We're going to the gym." So he dragged me to the gym. Thanks for that, even though I hated it in the moment. And then, yeah, post-secondary came, and my parents were like, "You got to do something." So I went and wandered the Nate open house, and I said, "What am I going to do with my life?" And then the personal training booth was there, and the 2 girls that were running it, I was like, "Those look like my kind of people." And then I signed up for the personal training program. And I really took a gamble. I was like, "See, what do you have a problem with?"
I'm learning
Oh,
with
you
the
didn't
rest
know this
of you
story?
that's how that went. No.
Yeah, I literally, because I was like, maybe I'll be a teacher. Good thing I didn't choose that.
Shout out to teachers.
Like-
Y'all are a different breed of fucked up.
Yeah, like I love you guys, but like couldn't be me.
I don't. There's days I don't like my own kid.
So, well,
That's not true. She's a pretty solid gem. It's other
Yeah.
people's kid who would lead me to believe that at some point I'm not going to like my own kid.
at the time I was like, maybe I'll go be a high school teacher and teach like gym and foods, which
You technically do. You just didn't go
technically
to
I
school.
do.
Like
And I don't have to deal with teenage boys, which I feel like probably would have ended my teaching career fairly quickly. But I walked into
it ended mine quickly.
went into the Nate open
But
house,
that's because
and
I
I
threw a
was
ball at one of them. He started it.
like they would have been like, Miss Sanford, you can't knock out 17-year-old boys, and I'd be like, you want to bet?
It was that. It was dude wouldn't stop talking, and I had a volleyball in my hand.
I'm like, good thing we didn't choose that route, because a 17-year-old kid would have said something to me one too many times, and that would have been the end. Yeah, so I really took a gamble on the personal training program. I was like, it's only 2 years. We'll see what happens.
It's okay.
If it'll either go really good or really bad, and thankfully it went, I would argue, really good.
Who were you arguing against?
Well, technically I don't do any in-person training anymore, but it got me to where I am. Did the personal training program, walked out with no game plan, worked at 4 different gyms, and then during COVID took my holistic nutrition certification, and then didn't go back in person, and now we're here. But like, I've also had many ups and downs within that. My weight has fluctuated a ton. I was 125 pounds in high school, which is crazy to think about. It's like one of my legs you would have to cut off, I think. Do you think one of my
I
legs
can
weighs
pick you up
40
with
pounds?
one arm now. What the fuck?
Yeah. But yeah, I'll give you the
I could
timeline.
row you.
Yeah, like do you think one of my legs weighs 40 pounds?
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, so I would have to lose a limb these days, which that'd be sad for everybody.
Yeah, she has great legs.
Yeah, you're going to talk about your weight loss journey, so then I'll talk about my weight journey in that. Question from Brian.
Yay, Brian. I love Brian. What question?
This is for you.
Oh, okay.
When starting your weight loss journey, was it more of a, I love myself so I need to lose weight, or I need to lose weight so I can love myself? Was self-love first or after?
That's a good question. Was it I love myself so I need to lose weight, or I need to lose weight so I can love myself? No, it was actually neither of those. That's a great question, yo. I love you, man. Great question. It was kind of neither of those. It was maybe a little bit of both. Like before the weight loss, like I knew something was up with me. Obviously, like I was in therapy for years before that, and just like the therapy that I've been navigating, we've been working through. I came and I fell into this calling for sharing my story and navigating depression in real time in front of people, and all the shit, and like it just wasn't clicking where I was. It was doing everything still for everybody else. I was learning to love and heal and grow, but I was doing it for everybody else still. And like fine, like it was great at the in the moment, like it had to go that way. Like it kickstarted me into this thing. But then as it evolved, as I kind of reached the capacity for healing from that mindset, it was something still missing. Like I'm missing the point. And yeah, it was then that I was coming to the end of a long-term relationship. I had a child, and just talking to my mentor at the time, when I was still in church, the pastor was one of my good friends and mentors, and just talking with my therapist and him and them, and it was a lot of like, you're still like you've made so many improvements, but you're still doing this for everybody else. And that's like the problem you're running into, is that you're still fighting to earn love, care, respect, and all these things from everybody else instead of doing it for yourself. And that meant leaving the relationship I was in. It meant doing a ton of soul searching, and that meant putting in work. Like I didn't, I made the promise to myself, like there's got to be something to this effort. And I'll actually even shout out David Goggins, even though he doesn't need a shout out. Was reading his first book, Can't Hurt Me, I think it was. And just his determination through physical shit. Like he had a shitty upbringing, like real violent, all that. Like you'll read the book, he's got a great story. But it was his like perseverance through broken bones to run marathons, his pursuit of being in the SEALs, his like, he kind of hammered in the concept that I'd thought my whole life, like this weird, like we only use 10% of our brains as humans. What's the other 190, whatever the fuck? And I was like, man, like what does that mean though? Like if that's like what's on the other side of 11% of my brain power? What's on the other side of learning to control this machine and putting in real dedicated effort to finding out who I was. And so the weight loss I always say was like it was like an overarching goal. I was like I knew I needed to lose weight. My body was beat to shit. Like I was having a hard time with my health. And mentally I could just feel how dead I was inside. And then it was drawing the correlation to healing between why my eating habits mirrored my abusers, and that made me feel horrible and determined. And then it was like, hey, then what's on the other side of putting in effort to get up and learn in the morning, stretch my body out so I can move it a little bit better. That bred me into a book and a movement goal. Steps were mandatory, stretching was mandatory, reading was mandatory. And mandatory, I say like I kept it. I can't show it to you right now, but there's a calendar, big ass calendar. I just kept a calendar, color coordinated because autism and ADHD like shiny shit, and made a legend. And I just like made sure I made it pretty every day. Like literally, if nothing else, it was I wanted to complete the circuit. But it just benefited to create these new habits. So it was learning to actually love Ethan. But I didn't know who Ethan was. And I wanted to find that out. I wanted to know how great I was. I was tired of hearing how shitty I was, how I couldn't do things, how I'd never make it, how I was worthless, how whatever the fuck it was from everybody that said it, anybody that said it. It stuck to me. That's that imposter syndrome. That's that fucking bullshit. And I was tired of hearing it. I needed some of these voices to go the fuck away. Uh, some of them are me, some of them are other people. And along that process, I crushed 100 pounds of weight loss. I went from a size like 44 or some shit to 29 now. I went from not playing football to playing the best 3 years of my life. I fixed my knee with no ACL, MCL, or meniscus in it to do what I do with my body now. Like I've got done so much fascinating shit. Still do, and I still think I'm very much on that journey. I don't think that ever ends. I think that's what separates me from other people that way. And that mindset is I'm so curious to see what's on the other side of the next thing. What's curious to be me right now is like what I can do with the body without the ACL, MCL, and meniscus until I get surgery. You know, I'm dancing, I'm lifting heavy, I'm eating right because I love it. I'm sharing it with as many people as I can. You know,
That's one of my favorite things is when people don't know that you don't have a knee and you do something whack and they're like, "That was crazy." And then I get to be the one that's like, "Yeah, and he doesn't have a knee." And they're like, "Huh? Wait, yep." Yep.
yeah, really fascinating. And it was, you know, I stick in that loving myself thing. I had to grow to love me. I just posted that on my story, I think yesterday. You know, I've hated me and this whole being for so long. Like spending as much time as I can learning to love me is kind of the always goal. Every day is learning to keep loving me, even when it's hard, when it's ugly, when I don't feel the best in my skin, when those voices kind of try to creep back. Like it's remembering that I did this for me, and those voices don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Brian, thanks for that question. It's not really either. It was kind of a hybrid, but also it was just this own thing. I knew that loving me meant taking care of myself, loving myself enough to care for me, and then giving it my best fucking effort.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool to think back because like I walked in when you were starting ish, had started.
Can we post a video a picture with this thing, or do we have to do that on social media? I'll show you guys. I guess even I
No, I
like
think
holy
I
Christ.
can put a picture on here. I'll play with it.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think all of that is cool. And even the other day, talking about it with Brian, and I showed him a picture of us the first time
Mm.
we did this, and he was like, "I'm sorry."
Mm.
Because we both had many changes since then. Mine more like appearance wise, aka like hair, but similar in many ways too. But it's funny to show people those versions of
Yeah, but
us.
like even still, like you look different. Then I still remember what you looked like back then. I still
Yeah.
remember that one picture in from the dog park.
And I think it's similar, like it was just
There's
like
evolution to the being behind the
yeah.
body more for Jill. Like her body didn't change as drastically. Like it changed, but it wasn't like that as much as like the being behind it
I also
changed.
think the way my appearance changed is similar to your story. Like I was like bleach blonde eyelashes, like very much cared about my appearance, but that wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just like, yeah, I don't actually care. Not because like I don't care, but like I don't care how that shows for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Insert colored hair saga of Jill's life. I think we can both answer this, but
Yeah.
I'm going to read it how it was.
Yeah.
How does it feel when people showed you more love after your weight loss than before?
Oh, you can lead. I'll answer second because mine will be a longer answer because it is directed at me. But this is something we can absolutely both talk to. But yeah, share yours.
Yeah, mine's less on the weight loss and more on the
Physique itself.
yeah, and like stepping into how I want to look. Like I would say people were probably much more comfortable with how I looked 5 years ago, when I was presenting for them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I look back at pictures of me in high school and after high school with like my bleach blonde hair and eyelash extensions and a full face of makeup, and I'm like, who is that? And people say that to me all the
Mm-hmm.
time. But that's how I thought I was supposed to look. Like I grew up in Sherwood Park, so everyone was supposed to, yeah, like everyone was supposed to have extensions and nails and eyelashes and wear the makeup and do the thing. And the day I took my eyelash extensions off, all my friends were like, why'd you do
Are
that?
you okay?
They literally were like, you look naked. I'm like, because I don't have fake eyelashes glued to my eyelids. Interesting. And that turned into like not wearing makeup anymore. I don't even do my eyebrows half the time. Um, and like letting go of my blonde hair and
It's like a 70-30 split. It's not half the time. That's the shit about.
30 that I do them.
No. Your
No,
eyebrows are probably the only thing you do, like that consistently. Like literally,
I
like
guess I don't
yeah,
fill them in all the
no, like
time
you don't
though.
like put them on, but the only thing that this is a boy problem. This problem
Okay, so
because like hold on, explain what just happened because I'm telling you,
I
I see this motherfucker right just every day. If
okay.
we leave the house, it's right. The only thing she touches every day
Hold on.
is here, so the girls are gonna back her up. I know it, but bro, like listen, if you touch them because boys don't. That's doing your eyebrows.
So I see doing my eyebrows as like filling them in. I gel my eyebrows every day.
I didn't know that was a thing till just now. I didn't know she was gelling them. I like literally, she has little brush. We argued about the brush the other day.
Yeah.
And argued was funny because our partner left hers from weeks ago. It was on the
For her
floor.
eyelashes.
And there's a brush for the eyelashes. I don't do my eyelashes. I was like, well, fucking sorry. I see you with a brush. And she's like, they're for my eyebrows. That was yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
so not 50-50, dog. It's 100% of the time she
Okay.
does something
Yes.
to her eyebrows.
Okay. Fine. I gel my eyebrows
And that's not
every
doing
day.
them. I get that she doesn't wear makeup. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not even complaining. The tism in me didn't like the fact that she said it's 50-50 when I see this beautiful
Okay.
bitch do this every day.
Okay.
Look at the cheeks. Also, you want to know here, I'm going to throw you under the bus right now. You want to know how I tickle her soul? The cheeks get up near her eyebrows. These right here. Look at it there. Look. If you're not watching this doesn't make sense to you right now unless you know her.
Yeah. But anywho, I would argue, yeah, it went the other way. Like as I've leaned more into myself, people probably have more opinions about how I look, but that's okay. I remember when I first started dyeing my hair, like when I was still blonde, I used to dye my whole head a color because it was easy to. And like men would hop in my DMs and be like, I liked your hair better when you were blonde.
Which is weird.
And every time I would be like, I don't remember asking what you like. Like it's such a weird.
That's so weird, dude.
And I could
fucking
like
weird.
I could go on
Oh yeah,
a rant about this.
Maybe
And
we'll
just
do a
like,
whole episode of the weird shit people do.
but like men also think like my existence is for them. Like I'm sorry,
I
I
get
don't
less of that.
like I don't remember choosing my hair color for you, but thanks for letting me know your opinion. And I think that's happened for a long time of like women are supposed to dress, appear, look for the male gaze.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to always be like,
And men get to do whatever they want.
yeah, and
which
I
is
used
a weird thing still.
now it makes sense, but I used to always be like, I'd rather a girl be like, I like your hair than a man.
No, it makes sense.
Well,
I love you.
now we're here.
And now we're theys, thems, and gays.
Yeah, but like after high school, like I never cared how men thought I looked, and I always thought it was weird. Even like,
but she's fine as fuck though. Like, let's just back up. She don't care how we think. I'm just like factually stating. If you don't know her, I'm like just listen to me. You are missing out.
but it was even like boyfriends would be like, "You should dye your hair this color," and I'm like, "No, I'm good." So like anytime a male gave their opinion on my appearance, I tend to do the opposite. except for you. I actually value your opinion.
My opinion is you're hot as fuck. That's like any form of you
Yeah.
is yeah. Hey, I want to do this thing. Fucking, where are we coming with you? Is that what you're asking? Am I driving you to the appointment? What's happening? I don't get like, dude. You can put a dick on your forehead. I don't care.
Probably not
Won't.
going to do that.
Would you put a pussy on your forehead?
No, nothing on my forehead.
I'd definitely put my dick on your forehead. I don't even remember where we were. That was good shit. Oh, supporting your appearance. It was just like it's always come from that thing. I think my attraction to people. I'm this way with everybody. I'm attracted to the being in some way, shape, or form. I think people know this. I'm very open about that. Uh, but whatever you want to do to your being, like do the thing. It's autonomy. It's probably a hot button topic for me for many reasons, and probably why I feel that way about it is autonomy. Is this like, what do you mean I'm trying to decipher what someone else does with their system, no matter what it registers in my being like? Like, dude, your hair could be the rainbow. You probably look so good with rainbow hair. Anyways, see, that's my point. Because I just like my brain can make it like on her. If you come to me, if you mess with, hey, I'm thinking about getting my tongue split. Do it. Oh, do it. Fucking do it. Like, do the weird. Be you. Oh, show me the weird you. Do all of the cool things you want to do to you, so I can learn more about you. Yeah. More attraction. Learning about you, please. I signed up for that. This is why I'm the way I am. I'm learning real time in my whole. I know this about me, and those of you that don't know, I am Pan. No, but I just continue to further double down on holy shit as I ever.
And I think it is always crazy to me. And now that I've like settled more into me, that I don't understand why we give our own opinions on what somebody else wants to do. Like getting my smiley pierced. Uh, I had a friend at the time tell me for years not to do it because it would wreck my teeth. Okay, they're not your teeth. Like that now is crazy to me that we're like, oh, you want to do this thing? Let me insert my own personal opinion on it so that you don't do it. And coming out of junior high and high school in Sherwood Park, like I had guys tell me no one would date me because my legs would be bigger than theirs. Sounds
the
like
amount of time I spend with those legs in my mouth is completely obscene.
But that's
I don't
also
understand.
like
Y'all fucking frail ass little white dudes be out here tossing away good women. Y'all be motherfucking. Sorry.
That's also a them problem. Like I get bigger legs, then I don't know what to tell you.
I like grow up, but grow some. I don't know what to tell you. Give me the thickness. Give me it all the way.
But I think it's just for me letting go of other people's opinions. I know how little I care when I put on an outfit to go to a family dinner and know that it's going to make someone mad. And then I say, look at my outfit. It's going to make someone mad. And then I walk out the door. So, but it just like, I think mine is probably the opposite of, I'm sure there's plenty of people that love me less, but I think I'm pretty cool. And that's all that matters.
It is. I'm going to tell you you're cool too? What the fuck is it like that?
Your turn. Your turn.
Oh, to tell a story. Sorry, my bad. We could end like that. Is there anything?
How does it feel when people showed you love after your weight loss?
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. Like 2 months in, I was 40 pounds down, something like that. And like it already changed the way people were addressing me on social media. Some people come from a place of care, and it was like holy shit. I remember like what happened. Like I decided to love myself. Congratulations, cool. And then other people, like random people, would message me, or people from the gym would message me, or I had Jungle Fever come out the woodwork. I had Sugar Mamas come out the woodwork. It was noticeably toxic. Like the moment that I looked a different way, it was desirable to look that way. And I, thank fuck, was doing it for myself. So it wasn't really a distraction. It was just a thing until I got into a relationship. And then that relationship took a turn for the worse. by way of, some abuse. And it was tough to navigate. And I had no autonomy over my body, over my life, my work, my anything. So when I got out of that relationship, I was hell bent on dying. I was hell bent on being the piece of shit that I've been made to believe I was. And, went toxic with my body for a few months and used it for everything everybody called me for. You wanted the dude, you wanted the monster here, deal with it. Thankfully, that didn't last very long. Thankfully, I met a couple of good people along the way that were like, yeah, no, we see the other dude. We see the person that you want to be, that you work to be. We'd rather be out with him. And so that kind of turned that around, and I, solidified in this. I don't have to be what society says. I don't have to be the thing that everybody wants me to be. I get to write this shit and keep writing it for me. So I went back to being, healthy with what I wanted to do. Got back on my shit of, taking care of myself for the right reasons. And football, 3 years later, here would be, being healthy with it and loving what I do. Into sex and intimacy work, safe kink work, BDSM, all those things is a byproduct of the confidence to openly be myself everywhere I go. I prefer to be this dude, whether it rubs people the wrong way or not, whether it turns people on or not, whatever the fuck it does for people, I'm going to keep doing it because I like to do it. I like to be me. So I'm going to keep being me.
Yeah, I think it's cool to watch. Like, I love both versions of you. That one, this one,
the next
all
one.
of them.
Past lives and the next.
Yeah, but it's fun to watch people think you're hot. And somebody listening's gonna be like, I'm sorry, what did you just say? It's one of my favorite games. But it's also like watching the confidence in you. And I think that helps you do all the other shit that you want to do. More than a physical
the game
thing.
She plays.
It's just like, yeah, seeing that confidence in you is cool.
It definitely feels cool. And it's neat to, like, even in those moments, like, sometimes it's really noticeable. Like, when people almost rear end people when we're walking. Like, in those moments, I'm like, it's just like, what do you mean? Like, it's such a wild spot, and it's not even anything other than the holy shit, bro. Like,
Yeah.
What did you do? I was like, what you did the thing for yourself, and it is stunning to everybody who doesn't know the story. And it's a part of the confidence though, because I want them. I want someone to ask me why. I want someone to ask me how. I want to talk is why we have this podcast, I think is a part of that confidence.
Yeah. And that confidence lets you do modeling and the public speaking, and not that you weren't doing it before, but watching you step into that.
But even like evolving, I think you're right. I think that my thing is stepping into it. Like before I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go. But this one, I'm like, where is it? Like, give me the thing. I want to do this. I love that feeling of challenging. Modeling's hard. Mm-hmm. Like people think I go into it and I'm just like, this guy kill it. Like, no, I'm like sweating. I'm nervous. Right before I walk on stage, like I have to be like, you're going on that stage. Like it's still not easy. I'm still a fat kid at heart. I'm still the traumatized boy in there who's heard all the things. But the moment I'm on that stage, that's just Ethan just doing exactly what he loves to do. Oh, I'm gonna get worked up and enjoy. Like I've worked hard.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. That's why any event you go to, I'm like, I'm coming. Like I don't care if I have to sit there for 5 hours. I'll be there. Because it's still just like cool to watch you do your thing. I've said this for a long time. It's my favorite activity, watching you do your thing. But
yeah, like I worked hard to do these things. Mm-hmm. I don't give myself credit for that. Yeah. For those of you that can't hear it, yeah, this one touched a nerve.
Yeah.
But just, yeah, because sometimes when I'm like, even that walking out before I had to walk the little girl out, that first outfit, when you have been too fat your whole life or too this your whole life, not white enough, too black, not black enough, too this, too that. And in those moments, to be everything the room wanted. Like, that's cool to be what the designer needed in that moment. Mm-hmm. To hold the honor of all of those eyes. Like, that's a cool place to be. Yeah, it's probably what I love the most about it is like, there's no anything else about this moment right here. This moment's mine. Me and the designer. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to watch every time. Yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap up. that I think if you take anything away from this, do your thing. Be you, live your life, dye your hair, shave your head. I
Keep
don't
with a
care.
couple of people around you that love that version of you. I couldn't do this without people like Jill Stewart, you know, feeding the curiosity of who I was, in a safe place until I got to spread my wings and do it myself. Like the last 3 years and being in my own home is part and parcel to that thing, to finding me, to finding what I wanted to do, how I could do this thing. Now we have a house with a roommate who's like one of my favorite human beings ever coming across, come into my life. What a cool life to build with people, because I went after being me and Jill went after being her. And
Yeah, just like stop doing shit for other people.
yeah, fuck.
For
It's way
family,
more fun.
friends.
There's way more peace over here. The hard is hard because you're going to have to answer some questions, but it's way less hard than knowing you're not yourself. It's way less hard than knowing you're living inauthentically. It's way less hard than not knowing who you are. I'd
Yeah.
rather be digging in the heart of the answers than not having a question at all.
Yeah, and there will be people in your corner always. Every time I post a
Oh, sorry, I'm here. I realized I waved at the camera. Not everybody can see
yeah,
that.
but like every time I post a outfit video on my Instagram story, it's like my most liked story every time, and it's usually because I look gay. Is usually what those outfits are,
Mm-hmm.
but like as much as other people will question it, there will always be people that like see that that is you, that see that you're happy, that see that you're in your joy, that that's how you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on to those people.
Yeah, the people that hold space for you, whatever authentic version that is, are the people you want to keep at least within arm's reach. I'd say at a distance. That is a solid distance arm
Yeah,
reach. I got
like
long arms.
send us your outfits and your hair choices and
Oh,
your
we'll gas
piercings.
you
Yeah.
this shit up. It's gonna be a good time.
And yeah, if you need a place to send all of that, you can find the podcast at Shifting the Lens Podcast on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You can find either of us on our socials. I'm at CoachJill.April on Instagram and TikTok.
I am. Fight me on this website, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
If you find one of us, you'll find the other.
Guaranteed.
And we'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah, thanks for coming.